Hey guys, this video we are going to talk about the price elasticity of demand. Okay, we will go further. Here are the focus of this video. So first, we will begin with something simple. We'll talk about the different types of the elasticity of demand. And because the main focus of this chapter is about the change of the total revenue. Total revenue because of the change of price or the change of supply. Okay, in different types of elasticity of demand, actually the result will be different. Okay, and then last we talk about something about the factors affecting of their ED, because different goods they have a different elasticity of demand, but why, what the real difference, we will discuss this later at the end of the video. Okay, so let's have a very quick revision. In the before lessons, we learned about it on the demand curve. Different points they have a different elasticity, and we know that this is this is the midpoint of the demand curve, so it will be called that ED is equal to 1. Actually, it's the name. It's a unitary elastic. Okay, unitary elastic. So what's on the upper part, at any point of the upper part of the demand curve, we call that elastic. And on the lower part of the demand curve, we call that inelastic. Okay, so this is the basic what we learned, but what are the differences and what is the meaning of elastic or inelastic or any other things? Okay, so there's a totally 5 types of elasticity of demand. You can see here are the numbers. Okay, we can see that. Okay, first, the value of the if this is elasticity, the ED is 0. So what's the meaning? That means because elasticity of demand is something about the reaction of the consumer about the price change. So if the price change and if the ED is 0, that means they have totally no reaction. Okay, so the counter demand will remain unchanged. Okay, we just call that remain unchanged. Okay, so in this kind of elasticity demand, we call that perfectly inelastic. Okay, perfectly inelastic. The totally no reaction to the price change. And then it types a little bit close to the perfectly inelastic. We call that the inelasticity of the value is smaller than 1. That means when the price change, actually they have a reaction, the consumer have a reaction, but the reaction is not big, it's comparatively small. So the percentage change in quantity demand is smaller than the percentage change in price. Okay, so this kind of elasticity we call that inelastic. The demand is inelastic. Okay, so if the value is 1, that means when the price change, the quantity demand change, but the changes is equal to the percentage change in price. So this kind of ED, we call that unitary elastic. Okay, so for the one more, the next one is the bigger than 1. That means when the price change, the reaction is quite big. It's quite big. Okay, so the reaction means the quantity demand is bigger or greater than the percentage change in price. Remember, it's talking about percentage. And this one we call the elastic demand. And the final one, we find that if the price increase, they have an extreme reaction. Okay, price increase, the consumer feel very unhappy, so they extremely drop the quantity demand to 0. Drop to 0. Okay, very extreme. If even that is a very little increase, they will still do that. For the price decrease, they will extremely excited, so they will try to increase their quantity demand to increase to infinity. Okay, so actually you cannot find this kind of weird example because it's so crazy, but okay, but actually if go to this extreme case, we call it perfectly elastic. Okay, so let's go for find some real examples of these types of elasticity. For example, perfectly inelastic, the very extremely no reaction to any price changes, kinds of addiction, right? So we can find some case in real life is like drugs. Okay, drugs ticketing. The drugs ticketing just like I no matter how expensive or how cheap it is, I still want them and that quantity. Okay, but actually it's not perfectly inelastic, but related to inelastic, something like necessary, any necessary. For example, the water, the food, the electricity. Okay, water, food. Okay, so why these are inelastic? Because we actually need them, but the quantity we need actually not change a lot. Okay, I drink water, I shower, I wash my shirt, but if the water price be drop, I will not try to take shower 5 times a day, or I will not drink 16 cups of water every day. Actually, I will not change that much. So this related quite like inelastic demand. Okay, unitary elastic. There's some examples like I have a fixed amount spending. Okay, so kind of like okay, I will fixly every month I will spend $100 on games. Okay, on games I will just try to spend $100 on buying games. But sometimes when the games is cheap, I can buy 10 games. But sometimes the game is expensive, I can buy only 5 games. But no matter what, I just try to fix the amount on games. Okay, so this is my schedule. So in this case, this is unitarily elastic. Okay, elastic things just like the goods that we have many options. Okay, the consumer have many options. They can swap one by one easily. So kind of the restaurants, okay, or the snacks, okay, even faction. Okay, so this kind of things that we can find a substitute easily, so this is more likely to be elastic. For the perfectly elastic, I mean something that we really don't care about so much, but they may be meaningful for us, but it is not easy to find a real example. Okay, in this part we are trying to make it to show the things in the diagram. So now the price increase, actually we learned about that, but we try to quickly to do that. Okay, so if the demand is elastic, okay, so this time we know that elastic demand, so that means the quantity, the reaction of the consumer is quite big, right? So it's bigger than the percentage change in price. So how do we do that? On the elastic, that means on the upper part of the demand curve, we try to put 2 points. Okay, so we have a 1 point, but this time because price increase, so the P1 should be here and P2 should be here. Okay, so I try to use another color to make it easier to understand. Okay, so this is P2. Okay, so but okay, so that means using the equilibrium we can find Q1, we can find Q2. Okay, then we have a plus because this is increase, so it's a plus because here is a decrease, so it is a minus. It's a decrease, is minus. Okay, so I finished the diagram. So easily, when for the elaboration, when the price increase and quantity demand, okay, according to the diagram, it is a decrease. Okay, and so after we mention about the price and the quantity, we try to mention about the elasticity of the demand because we have to talk about the total revenue. So we said that when the demand is elastic, that means tell us about the definition. Elastic means percentage change, okay, in price. Oh, sorry. The percentage is oh, sorry, about the price that's increase. The percentage increase in price is, okay, because it's elastic, so price change should be smaller. It told us, okay, so smaller than the percentage decrease. incandescent supply. Okay, so according to the diagram, the plus is smaller, so total revenue decrease. Okay, so P1 Q1 to P2 Q2. This is what we learned before. Okay, so for the variation 2, we talk about the, okay, so this time it's still the price increase, but this is an inelastic demand. So we just try to draw the diagram. For the elaboration, you can handle this. So inelastic, that means quantity demand, not much reaction, so smaller than the percentage change in price. And for the diagram should be the lower part because inelastic, so low elasticity. So it should be a lower part. Okay, I try to put a biggest price increase. So P1 should be here. So we have a Q1. Then I try to put a P2 is upper than on top of P1 because it's price increase. Okay, so and then I have a Q2 here, and for the increased part we have a plus, for the decreased part we have a minus. So finish. Okay, just check the total revenue increase because the plus is bigger than the minus. Okay, besides for the price change, actually when the supply change, they will have an effect on the total revenue. Actually, it's very so similar because we already know that supply increase, actually it will lead to the, for example, supply increase leads to the price drop. Okay, so actually when we try to do this kinds of things, very similar, just have one more step at the beginning. Okay, so when the demand is elastic, reaction is bigger than the price change. So elastic upper part, so I just pick any one point on the upper part. Okay, so supply increase, that means we have a supply here. Okay, P1 Q1, then supply increase, that means go to the right hand side, still on the upper part of the demand curve. Then we have a second equilibrium, then P2 Q2, drop in price, increase in quantity. Then the decrease in price, so that makes a minus here. Increase in quantity, so it makes a plus here. Okay, so total revenue, the plus is this area is bigger than this minus area. Okay, so total revenue increase actually. But for the elaboration, how do we write about that? When the supply increase, supply curve shift to the right, then the price according to the diagram decreased, and the quantity demand increased. So and then definition of our elastic demand. When the demand is elastic, definition percentage increase. Oh, sorry, it's talking about price, right? Decrease in price is smaller than the percentage increase in quantity demand. Okay, so then the total revenue of grapes will increase according to the area. Okay, so that's all for the supply. Okay, if the supply increase for the elastic demand, so they were so similar. Just put the equilibrium point on the lower part of the diagram, P1 Q1. Then we have S1 here, and we have an increase in the supply, so we have P2 here, Q2 here. So for the drop, so we have a minus here. The quantity increase, so we have plus here. So that's all. Okay, here we are talking about some factors affecting the ED. Okay, so why some consumer they have a so great reactions? Why some consumer at the same time they do not react so much about the price change? So actually some purpose. Okay, so some reasons. One of that is a substitute. It's very important and it is affects most. Okay, because just think about that. When we have a choice, if we are the consumer, we have a choice. More choice I have, I'm more easy to change. Okay, my options. Okay, so here more substitutes, then our elasticity will be more elastic. Okay, so here are some examples. You can read that. So and the second one is the whether it is necessary. Okay, if it is necessary, no matter how expensive it is, I still need to buy. Okay, so my reaction will not that big. So higher degrees of necessity, I will be less elastic. My reaction will be lower. Okay, I will buy still similar quantity. So the third one about the income, proportion of income spent on the good. Okay, so this is so hard to understand. What's that proportion of income spent? Actually, to be human wordings, that is that expensive to us. Okay, for example, if we were talking about to whether buy a smartphone, okay, buy an iPhone, buy an buy an iPhone or buy a Samsung phone, because it's few $1,000s, almost $10,000. Even 1% of this is called talking about $100. Okay, so we will think more detail. Okay, think more deeply. We will care more about the price. But if you are talking about buying a bread, maybe that's only $10. So if you're talking about 1%, that's only 10 cents. Okay, so I will not care about the 10 cents so much. Okay, don't disturb me. I don't want to think so much. So actually, more expensive things, I will care more. Okay, so here, smaller proportion. Smaller proportion of the income spent. That means that is cheaper. If it's cheaper, then it will be less elastic. Okay, because they have little effect on our expenditure actually. Okay, so next, these things are not very difficult. Time to adjusting the consumption patterns. That means whether I have time to change my choice. Okay, if I have no time, for a very little time, then I will be less elastic because I have no time to choose. I have no choice. No choice, then less elastic. After that, addicted to that, I have no choice. So I have less elastic. Okay, durability. That means if more durable, that means I can use that for longer. I can find a right time to buy a new product to replace it. For talking about a computer, even I find that my computer is slow, but I still have time to search a new computer, search something like that. But if I'm talking about the glasses, not glasses. If I'm talking about a shoes or a trousers, it's broken. There's a hole on my shoes and a hole on my trousers. I need to buy a new one immediately, right? I cannot I cannot wait so long. So durability, more durable, then I have more time to search for the options. Then will be more elastic. So after the number of users, okay, that means the effects of the how many people will change. More people change, then more elastic. Okay, so very simple. These factors is important for the MCs. You need to identify. You need to be able to identify its affect the elasticity of demand. And later on, we will learn something about it change the elasticity of supply. Okay, you just remember this. And sometimes the questions will ask you to raise up some reasons. So you just remember 2 of them. I think it's enough. Okay, that's all for this video. See you next time. Bye.